Hey everybody, long time. We're
Very
back.
long time.
Very long time. We're still recovering from the post-Corman era.
It's been sad. It's been tough.
Dustin's actually on
tough last
like day 15 of a bender or something. I can't even. I don't even know how his eyes are open right now. It's bizarre. And by bender, I don't mean alcohol. I mean work.
More or less, I've just been here.
Yeah. There's actually a
what else to do
sleeping
with that.
bag under his desk right over there. You can't see it.
My house is too sad to go back to.
Dustin has been spending a lot of time in football practice.
I have.
We were both at football practice today. Dustin, what are your thoughts? Anything jump out at you? What did you see today that you think matters?
Well, not a lot today necessarily, partially because I may have been a little bit late today.
Yeah.
But basically, first off, I think everybody's just waiting to see how things look against another team. I think everybody that's been watching this team is, and the team itself is starting to get tired of just seeing how they go up against each other.
Yeah.
But, I guess the things that stand out to you is just how good this passing game really is going to be. You're not necessarily sure about the O-line. You're not necessarily sure about how healthy Darius Willis is going to be.
Right.
But Chappell and the wideouts have been on point literally all summer. Ben Chappell has had, since the spring,
absurd.
has clearly been on, has clearly taken over the team, and his throws are extremely sharp.
Yeah.
And, he's got, you knew he had a bunch of great receivers, but those guys have been performing extremely well. And not just the starters in Tannen Doss and DeMarlo Belcher and Terrence Turner, but Deweese Wilson has been excellent. Jamon Chester has been, a bit of a revelation in camp, and some of the true freshmen who probably will redshirt, but still, show signs for the future. Logan Young, Kofi Hughes have been
I thought Kofi
well.
Hughes was really good today, especially considering he has a cast on his hand.
He's been playing with a cast for 2 weeks.
He's
and he
catching
can catch footballs
with it, and he has his fingers, but his hand, it's a cast on there. But he's still, and it's a kid who was a quarterback last year in high school, and he was exceptional today. Tannen Doss didn't practice today, groin injury. He's day to day. Dre Muhammad did not practice, ankle injury. He had a boot on.
Yeah, that might take.
It's a little bit more serious. He's a deaf guy. It's not. Obviously, be far more serious.
He's been playing really well in the spring.
It hurts. It hurts, but you can replace your number 5 wide receiver.
Right, obviously.
And Kofi Hughes is a guy that may do that because you saw, no Doss, no Dre Muhammad, and they're jumping out into team sets, and they're not missing a beat because Deweese Wilson just takes over Doss's routes.
Yeah.
And, you could argue that given the reps, Deweese Wilson may be just as good, if not better, than Tannen Doss and DeMarlo Belcher.
I don't know about better than them right now, but Wilson
when he gets those reps, when he's at the same point in his career.
Oh, God, yeah. Wilson is definitely the next guy. He's...
Yeah.
The next stage in the evolution of Indiana wide receivers. He's the type of guy who saw Belcher and saw Doss go to IU and could clearly see that he can be developed in the same way.
Right.
And you could definitely see
and
him
then
as the featured wide out.
You get a feature wide out. You get Logan Young, who's just 6'5", and not afraid to go across the middle. He's a tough kid. Excellent hands.
Great
and then you get a
speed.
guy like Kofi Hughes, who's really good in the open field. Just getting, you can see him getting the ball on the bubble screen and just taking off. I think Indiana's future on offense looks very bright.
They can at least throw it for a while.
I
don't know. You don't know how the running game is going to go. That everyone knows that Darius Willis.
There are options there.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Right.
Well, they have great tailbacks. The issue with it is I don't know if they've run blocked particularly well.
Right.
You don't see those guys getting massive holes to run through. They do have speed. They do have talent there. But there's no question that the passing game is in great shape for years to come. Dusty Keel, I think, has had an excellent camp. They keep saying that it's an even matchup between Keel and Wright-Baker.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's the case.
Just based on
Wright-Baker's made a step back.
Based on today
up,
and really the scrimmage, I thought Keel looked really sharp in the scrimmage. He just really seemed to have a command of the offense. And I thought Wright-Baker was good, but it wasn't Wright-Baker did anything wrong. It just when Keel was out there, you just really felt like Keel knew exactly what he was doing. He was really comfortable just sitting there just hitting everybody, hitting people in stride. It was really impressive to watch.
There's no question that no one's going to compete with Chappell.
No.
But Keel looks the closest to Chappell right now. He looks that degree of comfortable. Obviously he's a redshirt freshman, so I don't think he feels like he's captain yet, or that he could be. With Dawson Belcher that he's playing with. When he's playing with this, scout team, second team guys, I think he does feel like he's in control. Not quite to the degree that Chappell does, but to a strong degree. Wright-Baker hasn't been bad. There were stretches early where I think he was pretty inaccurate. He was floating a lot of balls over top of guys, just not making the right reads. But he's come along a long way, and I think he has more. He's quicker than Keel. Kill might be fast. They might be about the same speed if they're running a 40, but Wright-Baker has that sort of escapability
in terms of burst.
Yeah, he's got quickness. He's got Keel called it shake and bake yesterday. Keel admitted that he might be more of a power runner, when it comes to sort of maybe wildcat situations. But but Q, I think overall seems to be ahead in the game.
Yeah, I was interested to watch the safeties. Chris Atkins is out for a few weeks. He's probably going to start at safety. Lanyata Kyle
at least was going to be in the mix.
He was going to be in the mix somewhere there.
Him, Jones, and Evans.
Yeah. Lanyata Kyles and Lawrence Barnett have both been moved to safety. I was interested to watch how those guys were doing. So far, it looked pretty good. Lanyata Kyles made a really nice read where he kind of reached over, and I think it was Belcher that he knocked the ball out right before Belcher could grab it. His good cover. They're good cover guys.
Yeah.
And early, as much spread offenses as Team C now, maybe that's good to have. Is safeties that are good cover guys.
The thing that Lynch had mentioned going back to media day and beginning of camp was that maybe they do, maybe they don't have better starters this year.
Right.
But what they definitely have is they have more guys that they feel good about putting in. They have at least 6 cornerbacks that they feel good about coming in, and if Drain and Adkins were healthy, they'd feel good about 4 safeties from that group. Now, obviously, that's shaken up a little bit with the Adkins injury, but one thing that they did a lot last year was put Will Patterson on wide receivers. And
I don't think you're going to see that happen this year.
You're not going to see a linebacker covering wide receivers if they go to big wide spread formations, 5 wide sets, and maybe a third down situation. You're going to see 5 and sometimes 6 defensive backs in the game at the same time because they feel confident that they have those options, that they can put those guys in, and they don't have to ask a linebacker to cover a wide out, or even tight ends to some degree, but they're not going to ask a lot of coverage responsibility, especially in sort of a man-to-man situation from linebackers.
Right. And, do you think these group of defensive backs are more aggressive? Do you think that helps them to stand out?
I can't tell. I mean, I think they believe that they believe they can be more aggressive. They can do more man schemes with this group. Whether or not that's true, I'm waiting to see. Basically, I mean, it's very much a wait and see mentality here. I think it's obvious that these wide receivers, if you were to ask me who's doing better, the wideouts or the cornerbacks, I'll tell you the wideouts.
But is that necessarily
a... Yeah. What does that mean? Does that mean the wideouts are just that good? Does that mean the D-backs aren't good? I mean, I tend to believe that it's because the wide receivers are an extremely strong group. A lot of people are saying that they're one of the top 2 or 3 units in this league. So when they get against maybe a weaker group of wideouts, maybe that'll change.
Yeah. And, the early, it's really fair to knock the non-conference schedule.
Sure.
But when you have this many new starters... scheduling those 3 games to start off with is probably a pretty good decision.
Should
get their feet wet,
and such when by the time they get into Michigan, which maybe the game of the year. Really, that
maybe
might
the game of the year.
Season.
And the way Michigan's defense is looking, Indiana could probably score 50 against those guys.
Maybe
Ben Chappell may throw for a gazillion yards.
It's possible. It's possible.
I've just
they did put a ton on them last year.
It may be Tecmo Super Bowl like.
It might be.
Yeah, I think Chappell may just run back to the 0 and turn around and flip it 100 yards. That was a great move. It was a great. I mean, how did that? It
worked every time, especially in the first Tecmo. The second one was a little bit more difficult. The first one you remember.
It's really gone all downhill. Madden did that passing zone a couple years ago. That was
no, terrible. Just take me back to where I dropped back to the end zone, fling it
Arcade.
up, and score a touchdown. That's all that matters to me.
Right. Dustin, are you ready for Towson?
I suppose.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it to be a football game.
As anybody could be ready for Towson.
Yeah. It's CAA, man. I remember it.
You're a Colonial veteran.
Indeed.
As I said, you are part of the Pantheon of Colonial Athletic Association beat writers.
Yeah, that serves me well.
All right. Preview, promo. This Sunday, we will have our Indiana football preview, including this guy writing a epic story about Ben Chappell, the hometown kid, the town and gown. Ben Chappell is literally as all-American as you think he is.
Yes, that's what they tell me.
So we'll have that. We'll have
position previews. He'll have a cool column, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. Will Indiana make a bowl? I think that probably is the relevant question. Yeah, we're gonna make some predictions.
I guess we are.
You and I.
That's right, we are.
Yeah, I think Lynn Hauser will also be making some predictions. We
try to work the venerable.
The wise veteran sage Lynn Hauser will grace us with his thoughts on the Hoosiers.
Yep.
And then we will get ready for Towson.
Indeed. And there will be some actual real football be playing.
And we will make more videos.
That we will. And now we got to turn this one off.
All right.